Hi everybody, I want to talk today about spiritual language. Now when we hear and we see TV and we read books and we go through videos and you hear the word um, mediumship and you hear about communication with spirit, a lot of people find that they don't understand how is it that mediums can connect to a spirit, to someone who is in the spiritual realm. Well, let me go ahead and explain what it is. Spiritual language. It's just like any kind of language that you learn, foreign languages. You're learning verbs, and you're learning how to conjugate certain verbs or words, similar to learning the language of spirit. Because the language of spirit is very simple. It's signs and symbols that they use to connect to us here in the physical world. Now, a lot of the experiences that you have, you'll find, well, a lot of mediums find that a lot of the language, that spirit uses to communicate with them are based off of experiences that the person who has departed actually had. So, for example, let's say that person, was having a rough life, in their relationship. The theme there was that they always suffered and had, never found their true love, or they may have gone through several marriages and then divorce. Well, the medium that actually can connect to that usually may have had some kind of personal experience similar to that person, that is communicating to them, in order for that language to come through as a clear connection. So being a medium is that you have to use the language, or the language that spirit uses. It can connect with you on a personal level. And again, like I said, they use signs and symbols. So when we're doing readings as mediums, a lot of the information that we get is through spirit, showing us different things. So for example, if we have, let's say, someone's grandmother and she's coming through, she may show, a certain part of her body, or we may even feel it. A lot of mediums actually start taking on the physical symptoms of how that person passed. So for example, if they had, trouble breathing prior to passing, we may feel pressure in our chest. We may feel a tightness. And those physical symptoms that we feel is sort of like a language. Think of it as a language spirit is using to communicate. So when we channel that information, and I'll go into channeling in just a minute, but when we channel that information, it becomes very clear to us. That same person may have had a very deep-rooted faith in religion. So they may show us a vision of a church, or we may think of a church. The medium that is doing the reading may think of a church, or may see it, a vision of one. And that usually is like a symbol of their faith, and how strong their faith was in that when they were alive here in the physical world. So many times spirit will use those types of signs or symbols to communicate with us. Also, they can use like smells, like if they smoke certain cigarettes, and you may not smoke, but you may have been around people who smoke, a certain brand of cigarettes. So you may actually start picking up on that fragrance or on that smell. And many times, the other ways that they can come through is through dreams, lucid dreaming. That's a form of language for spirit. Because they're so advanced, the spiritual realm is so advanced, and they know so much, they can actually communicate with you quite easily. So, for example, when you have lucid dreaming, a lucid dreaming is basically you dreaming and having a spiritual visitation. Spiritual visitation is spirit coming through to visit you in your dream state to relay some type of message. In the lucid dreaming, you basically have that visitation from spirit, and a lot of things stand out lucidly. So, you may have a specific dream, and a certain place you may see a certain, animal in your dream, and spirit is using that kind of language via your dream to kind of communicate with you. So you don't necessarily have to be a medium or a psychic or have any kind of supernatural abilities to have spirit communicate with you through their language, using the spiritual language, as the way I like to call it. But they do communicate in different ways. Now, when, you know, spirit is communicating with you and showing you different things, you kind of have to be in a relaxed state, because spirit is actually vibrating at a very high level. And when I say vibrate, the soul is full of energy. That's our soul's energy, and it cannot be destroyed. But when we pass onto the spiritual realm, you know, the soul is vibrating at a higher level. It's kind of like it's floating. You could say like it's floating. That's the best way I can describe it, and it's at a higher level than us. So basically, the spiritual level is like, it's a lot more happier, and there's a lot more comfortability there. And a lot of, you know, of the souls on the other side, they're very full of love and positive feeling. It's an unconditional type of love that you feel, or that they actually feel. So that in itself is a higher vibration. Kind of think of the movie The Matrix, and you see this this vibrational, you know, all these grid lines. That's kind of what vibrational field is, you know, in the vibrations of spirit. There's different levels of it. And here in the physical world, you know, we experience a lot of the pain, emotion, and a lot of that actually hinders our ability to communicate or receive the spiritual language that spirit is using. So if you are bogged down with personal issues, you're not in a good place, or you're feeling very, very sick, you know, you're going through some type of disease or illness, you may not be able to receive the signs and symbols using the spiritual language that they use, because, again, in order for them to communicate with you, you have to be vibrating at a higher level. And when you're vibrating at a higher level, again, you're more positive and happy. So it's kind of like spirit lowers their vibration, and it's right here. And then you raise your vibration, and you meet here in the middle. And as you meet here in the middle, then the connection is established, and the information starts coming to you. So, again, when you think of mediumship, in the next couple of videos that I make, I'll kind of try to expand on this, and what, you know, the art of mediumship, and exactly how does it relate to you. It's not that difficult. You know, it's just one universal language. We're all interconnected, and to a divine consciousness, and basically, again, spirit uses that type of language, spiritual language, to communicate with you. So it's not something that's, you know, foreign or very difficult to understand. And a lot of you, you know, out there, you know, you're having your own experiences, and you're documenting that. You know, try to keep a journal, or write down things that come to you, whether it's like angel numbers, or, you know, 333 or 1111 or 222. You know, a lot of those things that are appearing to you, kind of keep track of it. And know that spirit is using that, and the spiritual realm is using this for you to communicate with you. So once again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to my videos, and I'm going to be doing more on the art of mediumship, and kind of explaining, you know, how spirit communicates, and how you can communicate, and covering different topics as well. On my next one, I will be talking about earthbound spirits. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Blessings and love and light.